when the winner meets Peoria Central for the state title, and the Landfair loses the opening jump ball. It goes off to the Wildcats from Thornton. Lamont Robinson, they go left side to Tyrone Thigpen. And posting up inside low is Darren Guest on the perimeter. The jumper is no good by Eric Coleman. The rebound controlled by Landfair. Lions have it. That was Horton, the sophomore, pulling the ball down off the board. And here's Clarence Briggity out front. Briggity with the basketball as Landfair looks at the zone defense, as Ron Nikovich stated. Both teams will be using zones. Of course, Landfair likes that 3-2. And we're seeing a 2-3 at the present time from Thornton of Harvey. No score. Moose Nika on the perimeter. Got it. Moose Nika scored 14 points last night. Coach Bob Nika's son, 8.9 average, deadly perimeter shooter if he gets to his spot on the floor. 2-0. Thornton across with it. Thigpen to Coleman. Coleman holding to Tyrone Thigpen to the baseline. The pull-up hits the side of the board. No good, and the rebound comes off to Leslie Lee. Here is Lee bringing the ball across. Now he glances to his left, you'll note, and knocking the ball out of bounds with very good defensive hands is Jeffrey Thurman. Wildcats have several role players on this Thornton ball club that are good, solid performers. May not have been publicized as much as Thigpen and perhaps Darren Guest, their big center. But a guy like Thurman makes a contribution. Of course, you can say the same for any club at this point in the tournament grind. Inside to Horton, outside to Nika for two.
Landfair is doing right now what I think their game plan was to do, and that is to prove to themselves that they can play with Thornton during the first quarter. That's pivotal.
Both clubs showing extremely good patience. We have played not quite 2 minutes. Guest on the baseline. He misfires. And then Horton with the rebound. Horton last night, the big 6'8" sophomore center, Ron, did not have as good a night as I've seen Horton have earlier in the year, but he can be a very dominating factor for a young ball player if he is.
His inexperience is going to show from time to time out in the court, I'm sure, but he will certainly have to contribute today, particularly in trying to negate Darren Guest's presence.
Right. Now, he did not play poorly, Fens. Remember that. He played well. Ball is loose on the floor. Rolls around. Off to Gamble. Gamble's jumper won't go. Pulling down the rebound off the defensive iron quickly there was Jeffrey Thurman. Thurman to Thigpen. At the baseline to Guest. Guest had it, lost it. Gets up by the ever-present Leslie Lee. Thornton, a winner over Bennett Academy last night, 56-43. Lanphier down East St. Louis Lincolns, defending state champions, 55-47. The Landfair Lions are on the attack. Kevin Gamble, right corner, out on the point to see Clarence Briggity on the right-hand dribble. Goes inside to Horton. Ball is knocked away from Horton on the inside and controlled now by Thigpen. Tyrone Thigpen. Big front liner up to the baseline to Thurman for the layup.
Super pass.
Tyrone Thigpen, a very, very complete athlete. 4-2 ball game. Landfair by a bucket. Briggity down. Little cross-court to Nika. To Horton. Foul on Guest. Little muscle city on the inside there. Darren Guest got up in the air. You talk about bodies.
We'll see in the replay that surprisingly Mr. Horton got the better end of this deal. I'm not too sure in a rematch that would happen.
Well, Horton may be a step quicker, but he admits to being 15 pounds lighter. Now, we all know coaches sometimes will vary weights occasionally. Horton's at 205. He's shooting the deuce.
Not weight so much, but, you know, if you're stuck with that 5'6" point guard, he becomes 5'11", awfully quick.
Yeah, pretty. He plays in high shoes. 5-2, Landfair. One more throw to Horton. Second throw to Ed Horton. Makes it a 6-2 ball game. Landfair's Lions leading by 4 against Thornton here in the early going. Lamont Robinson, the big pit.
And they're using the same zone defense that we saw in yesterday's game.
The basic 3-2. And
yes, it is. And Moose Nika, of course, is playing the top of that zone defense, much as Ivan Stone does for Peoria Central.
Little acrobatics by Lamont Robinson in the lane. Couldn't get the ball down. We have a whistle and a foul.
We'll see on the replay after the pass goes inside that it's a rather acrobatic move, as Art said, and of course a little hang time there enabled him to draw the foul.
Foul went to Kevin Gamble. 6-2 Landfair. Came off to kind of a slow-paced start. However, in comparison to the last one's finish, anything would seem slow-paced.
Yeah, that was a thumper. If we have another one of those today, then we're going to call that a double thumper.
I'm not sure this is. Yeah, I'm not sure this is slow-paced at all, but by comparison, Frank.
I just stopped in the dressing rooms of both Chicago Marshall and Peoria Central, and Luther Bedford is telling his players, keep your head up. We've got another game to play, and we're going to go out and play hard, and you've played well all year. And Peoria High's dressing room is quite calm and orderly, and they know they've got more work to do.
On a drive, a Horton shot is blocked. Just a magnificent high school basketball game. That's what it's all about, and we've had so many of those the last 2 weeks.
That's why, in my opinion, Illinois high school basketball, year in and year out, is the best anywhere.
It is not dull, that I'll guarantee you. Well, let's get back to this one. 6-4, Lanphier by a pair over a very fine Thornton club. Clarence Briggany, the ball handler, to Kevin Gamble. That zone, good, tough, well-disciplined 2-3 from Thornton of Harvey, coached by Sam Camilli. There's Briggany. Hit roll good. Briggany got the roll on the outer iron, fell through, and Landfair maintains his 4-point lead.
One thing we're looking at, too, of course, is Horton inside, Gamble outside is going to pose some defensive problems for Thornton.
Big pen across, right side to Eric Coleman. Country Companies Insurance presenting the IHSA basketball tournaments again, and here is a basket that's going to count. The basket will be good. They were going to call it goaltending anyway. And I believe it was Eric Coleman, wasn't it, gentlemen, that got the shot?
Yeah.
So it's 8-6, Landfair by 2. As we were saying, Country Companies Insurance presenting IHSA basketball for the 12th consecutive year, and your local Country Companies agent. Hope you're enjoying the telecast. Of course, we'll be with you tonight with the third place and title game.
Now we'll see in the alley-oop, and this is the first alley-oop of the tournament, surprisingly, too. Unsuccessful, but a good lead pass, and of course the lead pass led to the foul, and but surprisingly the first alley-oop of the tournament.
That's right, with the leapers we've had, that is surprising. Moose Nika, top of the circle. Rebound, Tyrone Thigpen goes high. Thigpen wraps it up. He brings the ball down himself on the break. To Guest on the drive, just lays it over the hoop and in, and a foul on Horton. The basket's going to count. Darren Guest came down quickly, but Thigpen was the trigger on that.
Here on the replay, I think we're going to see the all-around brilliance of Tyrone Thigpen, bringing the ball down the court as he did, rebounding as he did, making a superb assist as he did, and a great play by Darren Guest, who handled the ball well that time for a big fella.
That's it. If there is any such thing as a finger roll dunk, that's it.
For a hot moment, I thought I was looking at Daryl Dawkins going to the basket there as he went in there. What a powerful young man.
He is put together, Frank. There's no question about that.
I think as we continue in this first quarter, though, how well Landfair hangs in there during the course of this fourth quarter is going to determine much for them psychologically.
Free throw by Guest rings the bell, and we've got a 9-8 ball game. Thornton has the lead for the first time. And some full court pressure from the Thornton Wildcats. Nika ball handles out to Leslie Lee. Lee to Clarence Briggany now for the Landfair Lions. Right back to Bob Nika. To Briggany.
We're looking at a 2-3 zone now, too, and I think Coach Camilli's idea here is to negate the inside-outside factor that we see right there.
Well, Kevin Gamble was stripped. Yeah, he was stripped of the basketball, and Thigpen brings it down. Trying to push the shot inside. Actually, I think he was trying to pass him to Guest, but the ball deflected back out front, controlled by Lamont Robinson. Again, a loose basketball. Again, Thigpen has it, baseline left to Robinson. Lamont pulls it up in the paint. Won't go. Foul on Leslie Lee. First one on Lee, third team foul against Springfield Lanphier, and at the line, Lamont Robinson, he's perfect up there for the afternoon, 2 out of 2. Thornton 9-8, and there's Bob Nika, the Landfair coach, with words of instruction for his ball club. Nika, the 9-year veteran at Landfair, followed Arlen Lober, who had great success at the Lion Helm. Free throw is good.
Arlen, one of the great basketball coaches in Illinois, a real legend who just did an outstanding job there. Real credit to the profession.
And the athletic director there now, and very, very excited about this current Landfair ball club. Second throw misfires. Great rebound by Kevin Gamble. Gamble has snatched that one down off the arm. Off to Leslie Lee. Right back now to Gamble, who's helping out against this pressure defense. Cross court to Bob Nika, or Bob Nika's son, Moose. Frank Massoni asked Bob last night what Moose's first name was, and he said, we call him Moose. Here's the jumper by Gamble.
Well, if they win the state, I'm going to ask him what his middle name is.
Rebound effort by Horton wouldn't go, and the Wildcats come out again. Mr. Thigpen down over the stripe. Pulls it up on the move. And it misfires it again. Horton already a much bigger factor on the defensive board than he was last night. Of course, East St. Louis Lincoln, like Thornton, has some leapers up there, and they were very, very strong with Mark Dale and company inside. Horton pops it right back out to Gamble to Briggany for Landfair. Score remains at 10-8. 2-point lead to the Wildcats from Thornton of Harvey. Boy, what a great basketball tradition that school has, going back to the Lou Boudreau days. Loose Nika, in and out, rebound, Darren Guest. He cleared out the assembly hall with that one.
You better watch that elbow swing, and that could be a violation. There wouldn't be anybody around him, but the swinging an elbow could be a violation. Making contact's a foul.
Here's Thigpen, right corner, Lamont Robinson. His shot comes up short. Somebody, I think, had a piece of that basketball from behind.
And he was anticipating somebody coming toward him, too, I think.
Coach, I'm glad you pointed that out. We have often been asked about that. Swinging the elbow is simply a turnover.
Right.
Then contact, as you said, is a foul.
Landfair's Lions trailing by a pair with 1:29 to go in a very interesting first period. Clarence Brigady being checked off by Jeffrey Thurman in that portion of the Wildcat zone. Horton is posted up in front of Guest on the inside. Horton wearing number 24 in the black uniform. And Darren Guest towering in behind him, number 32 for the white-clad Wildcats from Thornton. Here is Nika. Nika with a blind pass, cross court, right corner. Leslie Lee on the way, won't go. Rebound Guest. Guest a blanket on the defensive iron. Down quickly with it now. Tyrone Thigpen. Thigpen is going to penetrate. He's going to pull it up. He misses. And a rebound pulled down by Kevin Gamble. Landfair hanging with Thornton on the boards right now. In fact, they're staying in contention here with a great defensive rebounding job, Ron.
Yeah, they are. They have that zone packed in, anticipating that, and they're particularly on the weak side board.
Third around jumper, Gamble, outer iron. Thurman swats the rebound out, and they're going to rule touch last by Landfair.
We've seen in both possessions hurried shots.
39 seconds left to go in the first period. We have a timeout with the score. Thornton 10, Landfair 8, as you see, and one of your network sponsors, John Deere.
If you've been waiting for John Deere lawn and garden equipment to go on sale, now's your big chance. Because right now, participating John Deere dealers are having their exciting Circus of Value sale with savings of from $1.50 to $420. But you'd better hurry. The sale ends May 31st. And with savings like that, you won't want to let any grass grow under your feet.
See your local John Deere dealer.
The American cars you're about to see don't cost $11,000 or $12,000, but under $9,900. Your Better Buick dealers special ordered thousands of Regals and LeSabres, then loaded them with standard luxury features. Then we decided on an irresistible price, under $9,900. And until March 31st, you can still get 11.9% financing. Buick for under $9,900. One more way your Better Buick dealers are better than ever.
I guess that comes from knowing that no matter how tough the winter, there's always the promise of new life come spring. And I guess that's how I feel about my new seed company, DeKalb Pfizer Genetics. A great product line now, and the promise of some really exciting things to come from some of the best seed research in the world. And you know who's backing that promise? I am.
Rattle, rattle, thunder, clatter, boom, boom, boom.
Don't worry, call the Car X-Man. Do you do foreign cars?
Foreign cars aren't foreign to Car X, ma'am. Japanese, German, French. We stock just the right muffler. Guaranteed for as long as you own your car. Foreign or American. Another country heard from.
Rattle, rattle, thunder, clatter, boom, boom, boom.
Don't worry, call the Car X-Man.
10-8 ball game with Thornton of Harvey leading Springfield Landfair at the end of one quarter here in the Assembly Hall, and the winner will take on Peoria Central for the state AA championship tonight. Central a 58-57 spine-tingling winner over Chicago Marshall on a last-second shot by Tim Williams on the right baseline. And Central had trailed most of the ball game, came back, put on a great rush at the finish, and won it by a single digit.
My memory's right. They were leading 2-0, and then 58-57, never in between.
Well, like I say, they trailed most of the game. Guy'll make a liar out of me for 31 minutes, right? Out of 32. Here's Clarence Brigady. Ball is poked away by Jeffrey Thurman. Brigady retrieves it. I just have a hunch we're settling down for another one of those white knucklers in this one. Frequently, the semifinal round of the state tournaments, both A and AA, you see this spectacular basketball. Thurman with the steal. Bob Nike up on his feet, didn't like that turnover. Here is Tyrone Thigpen for the Wildcats. Inside to Guest. He shoots it. It rolls in and out, and we got a foul. Leslie Lee of Landfair is tagged with the first, no, his second.
Foul was called on number 22, Leslie.
We'll see the pass going inside to Darren Guest. He had a little chip shot in there. It wouldn't quite fall.
I'm surprised he permits the basketball to pop out of there, aren't you? All right, first period statistical story. There you see it, 3 of 12 for Thornton. That's 25%, 3 of 10 for Landfair, 30%. Darren Guest missed his free throw. As in the first quarter, Landfair was 2 of 2 at the line. Thornton 4 of 5, rebounding 9-7 to Landfair. Most of that's on the defensive board, however. Landfair 3 turnovers, Thornton with 1. So there's the up-to-date statistical picture. Darren Guest missed both free throws. And Landfair's Lions have it with a chance to tie early stages, second period. Leslie Lee to Moose Nika. Nika will be back next year. Bounce pass back out to Leslie Lee. To Clarence Briggany. Briggany, the veteran little point guard out there. 5'7", 160, a senior. He's the carburetor in this Landfair offense. When they get in trouble, they'll bail it back out, go to Lee. Bounce pass in the middle to Kevin Gamble, and he got her.
That's what he wanted to do the last time, but the lob pass, of course, got picked off. The bounce pass did not.
A lot of coaches like that bounce pass against that packed-in zone defense, don't they?
Nothing wrong with that. Some don't like it. I think it's a great weapon.
Lamont Robinson well out in the left wing in the left corner to Thigpen for 2. Tyrone Thigpen. About as slick an operator as we've seen in the state tournament in some time. Big, strong front liner, can shoot, can pass, and obviously can hit the boards.
Multi-talented player.
12-10, Thornton by a pair. Briggany with a dish-off bounce pass to Nika, but Nika was in traffic, as you noted, and so he dribbles back out. Clears it to Clarence Briggany for the Lions. Briggany off to Moose Nika. Back to Clarence Briggany. Posting up inside is Horton. They make it Gamble. Horton actually is camped down underneath the sophomore, and the ball is deflected out of bounds. Getting the hand of the basketball was Eric Coleman. Lineup change now for Thornton. Derek Bruce is going to come in. 6'1", 175, a senior with a 3.5 average. He checks in for Eric Coleman in the Wildcat lineup.
I think Landfair has not quite read the Wildcat defense. They're, I think, attacking it as if, well, there you go. They're attacking it as if it were a two-guard front. It really isn't.
Lamont Robinson down quickly, and a traveling violation is going to nullify a drive-in bucket by Derek Bruce. Bruce just came off the bench and was called for walking with the basketball. 12-10, Thornton. Spread in this one has been 2 to 4 points. I think maybe on one occasion, Thornton did kick it out to a 4-point lead. Very, very tight. Leslie Lee working off now to Kevin Gamble. Now they come against the pressure across the stripe to Bob Nika. Back out near the 10-second line to 6'7" Kevin Gamble. Now Gamble is a 185-pound senior, team scoring leader with a 17.3 average, and you'll see Gamble is the high post man. The 6'8" sophomore Ed Horton is posted up down low with Darren Guest against him in that portion of the 2-3 zone defense. Briggany to Gamble. Gamble on the wing, and frankly, the Lions look a little puzzled by this defense.
Well, it's really not a 2-3 zone, Art. It's a 1-3-1 with Darren Guest packing himself way down low, and a little matchup going on out there.
There's a jumper by Thigpen on the perimeter, and Thornton goes up by 4. In other words, if I was attacking it, what you're saying is I don't recognize it either, and would have the same problem that Landfair's having.
Well,
and probably a lot more.
You probably would.
Moose Nika came up with the zone stopper, the perimeter jumper. It's 14-12. Landfair back within 2. That's why we have this high-priced talent with us, Missoni, is to keep us honest.
That's it.
Lamont Robinson from the side. Rebound by Thurman.
Great rebound. Great rebound.
16-12. Thornton now holds its 4-point lead as they've gone to a little full-court trapping press. Landfair not having a great deal of trouble with it, but it does keep you out of the flow of your offense, at least immediately.
They're attacking the full-court nature of it pretty well, but not the half-court nature of it, except there.
Kevin Gamble, he slipped inside. Not quite a Blue Jay. He was just a little bit outside the paint.
But a little bit of a PJ there.
Okay, no doubt about it. That's a pull-up jumper, friends, in Nikovich terminology. On the left side, Lamont Robinson. Robinson looking in the corner to Bruce. Back to Robinson. Basic zone for the Lions. Still the 3-2. Thigpen's shot misfires. This barely drew any backboard that trip, and Horton came off with a rebound.
And that'll happen every time of that kind of a shot without an offense being set. It'll be a defensive rebound automatic.
Horton's done a good job on the defensive board, and of course so is Gamble. Briggany from the side.
Tough shot. Tough shot.
Kind of sagging off Clarence Briggany, and he showed he can put the ball down. 16-16. Deadlock. 3:43 to go in the second quarter. Couple of nail-biters in the afternoon session at the Assembly Hall. Bruce on the perimeter, spins out. There's Guest with the rebound. Kind of a mini slam dunk. He just got the rim on the way down, but Guest powered it home to make it 18-16, Thornton by a pair.
Not much defense against that kind of move.
Very, very strong inside, and displayed pretty good hands on that particular move. Now, last night, I know, Ron, he juggled a few in there.
Yeah.
Micah Brigady deflects it to Horton in the paint. The sophomore shot rattles off. Little Brigady skies.
Brigady
He gets it out of
really
there.
blew off the floor on that one.
Clarence Brigady at 5'7" on the step ladder. Pulled it down. Brigady's playing in the left corner right now. Look at him over there, kind of crouched. He's got the basketball. Trying to move it against Bruce in that portion of the zone defense. The 1-3-1, or combination, or matching, or whatever. The ball is loose. Scooped up. Lamont Robinson. And he's called for traveling. And we're going to have a timeout taken. Timeout with 2:52 to go in the half. It's Thornton of Harvey 18, Springfield Landfair 16. We'll continue in just a minute. Sponsors are happy to be able to bring you these tournament games on television. If you have any comments about our coverage, suggestions, and so forth, we'd like to hear from you. Just write high school basketball, box 678, Bloomington, Illinois, 61701. Ball inbounded. Lions have it. Kevin Gamble kind of creeps across the timeline against the double team. The ball was stripped, and Clarence Brigady, who's made a couple of big plays in this quarter, was there to scoop it up. Brigady to Leslie Lee.
He's positioned in that left corner again.
Here's Lee. Got it.
That's what Lee does so well.
And it's 18-18. Take your pick at the 2:28 mark in the game's second quarter. Lamont Robinson walks it down. The tempo of this game has been somewhat deliberate, I think we can say thus far. It has certainly not been transition basketball. Tyrone Thigpen, who can play it any way you want to play it, leans in, pops in the jumper. 20-18, Thornton of Harvey by a pair.
But frankly, I think this kind of tempo favors Lanphier.
I would think Landfair prefer this. They got in a very similar game to this against Bob Asarich's Lockport Township team in the Super Sectional. Brigady, then Nika. Nika with the pull-up jumper. It does not go, and the rebound, Darren Guest.
Who's that?
Guest clears it. He probably was one of the most discussed players in the tournament after his appearance last night. People who hadn't seen him before. Thigpen whirls. His shot becomes an air ball. Here are the Lions running this trip. Lee has Bruce to beat. Let's see if he can do it. The shot won't go. Rebound by Horton is no good. Tip by Gamble, no good. Batted out front to Moose
Boy, they
Nika.
hang in there. Boy, they hang in there.
Nika backpedals on the dribble, and he controls it.
A lot of credit to Gamble. Made the plays happen on both ends, kept the ball alive.
Here's Brigady.
Good pass.
His shot won't go, and Horton's called for pushing off. Away from the play.
I'd say there's a little futility in pushing there.
Yes, I would think so. Foul on Horton is his second. So Horton and Leslie Lee both riding with a couple of personal fouls. But the critical thing there is that is the 15th foul against Landfair, which means Horton, of course, on his foul, put the Wildcats on the bonus. Tonight we're going to have a couple of great ones for you. That third place game in recent years has been a dandy. Both clubs are usually very loose, and then obviously the state championship game should be great. Darren Guest free throw misfires, and the rebound, Leslie Lee. What we're trying to tell you is broadcast time is 6:15 tonight for our coverage from the Assembly Hall, the final night of action in the state AA tournament. Here is 20-18, Thornton leading by 2 over Landfair.
Here's a good view of Darren Guest backing off in that 1-3-1 zone with the of course, the baseline player, number 14, and Guest is just simply sagging off it.
14 is Larry Hawkins they got in.
We're under a minute. The shot by Horton, no good, or by Gamble. Horton's follow, pinned up against the glass. Goaltending against Darren Guest, and gives the bucket to Ed Horton, his first field goal. Little power basketball inside with 45 seconds to go in the first half. We're deadlocked at 20.
I think probably he's packing himself under too deeply, and as a result, that kind of thing happens.
Hawkins working in the backcourt now with Lamont Robinson. Jumper by Hawkins, a lefty, is no good. Robinson pulls up the rebound effort and got it. Lamont Robinson with his first field goal, 22-20, Thornton. They took Eric Coleman out of the ball game, and Eric hasn't been reinserted. I don't know if he's ill or injured or just what, or whether they just decided to make a change. There is Horton missing and Guest rebounding.
There's those elbows.
Boy, he really pulled that ball down. Yep. So far, they haven't called it. Right corner. Hawkins with the basketball out to Tyrone Thigpen. Thornton showing us a little depth in this ball game. Hawkins on the baseline with the lefty. Got it.
Well, he's coming off hot.
That's it. And at halftime, you got a 4-point ball game as Larry Hawkins, 6 even, 155, a junior, making a senior, drilled in that baseline jumper. There's your score at halftime. Thornton's Wildcats 24, the Landfair Lions from Springfield 20. And one of your network sponsors is Country Companies Insurance. Derek Bruce, and Bruce has not scored as yet. Turning to the story now for the Landfair Lions with 8 points. It's Moose Nika leading the way, 4 apiece for guard Clarence Brigady, and also for Ed Horton, the sophomore center. Leslie Lee with 2, and Kevin Gamble also with 2. That's got to be a big key factor, is Gamble and Horton between them have just 6 points thus far, and Leslie Lee only 2, so that front line with only 8 thus far for Landfair, and they trail it by 4 at 24-20. We have the Generals from Decatur MacArthur with their pep band entertaining us here this afternoon, and still out there on the floor as Bob Knight has gone with the same combination. All right, there's your opening jump of the second half. Darren Guest skied for it. The basketball belongs to Thornton's Wildcats. Lamont Robinson, the big pin, back to Robinson. Robinson wearing number 20. Left corner to Hawkins. Hawkins with the left-hander got another one.
Well, he finished the first half with 1. He started the second half with another one.
Biggest lead of the ball game. Thornton by 6. Landfair drives it up. Leslie Lee. Lee well out on the floor as Ed Horton trying to post up down low. He's number 24. Kevin Gamble, a 6'7" senior, trying to go high. Now he goes low. Lee to Nika. They have Brigady in the left corner. 5'7" guard. On the baseline, Horton got it.
And Art Horton had 9 rebounds in the first half compared to Darren Guest's 5, and it's a fine job on the board.
Very, very strong effort. 26-22. Thornton by 4. Just underway. Second half. Robinson can't get it. Guest with the board. Slam dunks it. Darren Guest, the blanket on the offensive iron. Just hammer that shot through. 28-22. Thornton back to the 6-point lead.
A great individual effort.
Cross court against that pressure as Lanphier having no difficulty breaking the full court pressure. And as Ron pointed out in the first half, a little more problem out of the half-court game. Leslie Lee. Baseline to Horton, blocked by Guest. Horton gets it right back, lost it. Guest picks it up and clears the ball off now to Lamont Robinson. Robinson to Tyrone Thigpen. Thigpen, you talk about Guest being put together. Mr. Thigpen is a well-structured young man, too, at 6'5", 190 pounds. Guest inside, he travels. Darren Guest got the ball down low. You know, during the Class A tournament last week, Frank, we were talking about Flanagan's Bill Broxick being able to score whenever he wanted to. I get the same feeling with Guest.
Yeah, if he can avoid errors like those turnovers and traveling and things like that, he's just going to be a mountain of force, offensive force to work with.
Thornton leads it by 6 over Landfair. Lions trying to get something going is Leslie Lee on the right side. Now Brigady's back out on the point. Zone's giving him trouble, Ron. No doubt about that.
Yeah, they haven't read it quite. But I think once Mr. Lee gets into it, they will.
There's Lee, a little backpedal out there, taking a good look at that zone defense. But kind of a
I think
combination.
it's coming up right now.
There's a jumper by Leslie Lee. Lee gets it down. That's only his second field goal. He started the same way last night, however, in that win over East St. Louis Lincoln. Then really started to heat up and turn things in Landfair's favor. Thornton by 4 at 28-24. Big bet straight away. Back iron, no good. Hit on the side of the board, but still in play as the rebound comes off. Controlled by Leslie Lee. Lee for the Lions. 6 even, 175-pound senior. He's actually playing the point guard role right now as Brigady, the 5'7" guard, has swung to the corner, and there's Gamble.
Yeah, they're finding the gaps in the zone now, and the defense, I think, has lost a degree of its intensity and aggressiveness, and as a result of that, the ball is being passed where it wants to go.
Kevin Gamble got that in reasonably close for him at about 12 feet. Big Pen comes back, can't get it to drop. Guest with the board, picks it up, lost it, flurry underneath, batted out front. With it is Lee. Lee has Hawkins to beat. Hawkins blocks the shot.
Oh, that was a great play on Hawkins' part. I know he fouled him and all, but how he ever got his hands on the ball, I'll never know.
He was at a tremendous disadvantage for a long time on this play.
We'll see on the replay just exactly how he did this kind of thing. It looked clearly like it would be a layup, but look how he comes inside and gets his hand in there, and where he came from, I'll never know. It's a great play.
Yes, because Leslie Lee is a little quick himself.
Sure is.
The only problem is Leslie Lee had to dribble the basketball. You got to bring the ball with you, don't you, Coach?
Yeah, you sure do.
This Class AA tourney is co-sponsored again this year by DeKalb Pfizer Genetics and the more than 1,100 DeKalb Pfizer genetic dealers here in Illinois. Invite you to join us again next week for the girls' title game.
Lee can tie it right here. He doesn't. Has teammate Kevin Gamble whistle that rebound.
What Lanphier does so well. When they get down, they come right back at you. Now they've taken a lead.
They trade 1 for 2. The missed free throw by Lee, the rebound by Gamble, the return field goal by Gamble, and it's 29-28. Landfair by 1 over Thornton. Third period. Big Ben tried to penetrate. He was chopped as he tried to go down into the paint, and the foul goes to Clarence Brigady. On Brigady, is foul number 1.
The last 3 possessions, that's exactly what Big Ben tried to do, was to attack the seam of the defense. He took 2 shots, and that time he tried to dish it up and was fouled before. He's doing the right thing.
We saw Landfair coach Bob Nika sit down on the bench. Neither coach will be down too long. Lamont Robinson is called for traveling. Left side of the floor, this outside the hash mark, called for walking with the basketball, and the possession is that of Springfield Lanphiers as Kevin Gamble inbounds it. Back to Leslie Lee. Taking a look at that trapping zone press, about 3/4 court now. They clear it to Micah, left side of the floor.
It's pretty much token, Art. It's not designed to create a steal or create any havoc, anything of that nature. It's a token thing. They let you know that they're there.
Looks like a 2-3 right now for the Wildcats defensively, but they, as Ron Nikovich told us, changed up their zone. Micah's shot will not go, but Horton with the effort. Tipped by Gamble, no good. And pulling out of there is Jeffrey Thurman with a great defensive rebound for Thornton. Thurman really hung in there. Actually, 3 Lion tips. Here's Thigpen coming back. He can't get it down. Rebound, Leslie Lee juggles, comes out. Lee to Brigady. Brigady misses it. Rebound is up and in by Gamble.
Great follow-up. Thornton needs a timeout.
Kevin Gamble bangs it in. Landfair leads it by 3, and the Wildcats are going to take a timeout period. Timeout for Thornton of Harvey with 3:42 to go in the third period. Landfair has surged. As you see, the Lions lead at 31-28, and one of your network sponsors is DeKalb Pfizer Genetics.
Ted, the DeKalb Pfizer Genetics dealer.
Yeah, we're into the open court now, and of course, we see Brigady, who's such a jet, he probably overjetted that shot, but the great follow-up, of course, and on a very alert play on Lancer's part, which is the characteristic of this team. They play very, very alertly.
Well, Sam Camelli took that timeout. They go to Guest inside. A shot was swatted out of there by Kevin Gamble. Thornton bench wants a goaltend. I think a foul was called even prior to the shot, however. Foul was on Ed Horton, his third. And I think the official would tell you it was prior to the call, the goaltend. There's Sam Camelli.
Actually, on that, there could have been a goaltend, but the official was right on top of the play. It was not a goaltend in the sense that the ball was on its upward flight. It never made its move downward, so a good call. He was right on top of the play.
There's Big Garen Guest. The free throw misfires. He is not a good free throw shooter. In fact, he's made 1 out of 5 this afternoon.
47% on the season.
I think in his instance, everything about his free throw, the body posture is fine, but the follow-through from the wrist up needs to be improved, from the wrist up.
Big guys need to shoot free throws well because they have a lot of opportunities.
Watch the jerk in his fingers. You see that?
Yep. Missed another one. The rebound pulled down by Kevin Gamble. So Landfair retains a 3-point cushion here at 31-28. If there's any such thing as a cushion in a semifinal game in the state AA tournament. Well out on the floor, Gamble helping out as a ball handler. Very fluid player.
We see the 1-3-1, but only this time we see number 34, Clark. Is that Horace Clark on the baseline?
Ball is loose, batted back in the defensive zone. Leslie Lee away from Hawkins for Landfair. Up against Lamont Robinson. He changes directions to Moose Nika. Moose cuts her loose. It won't go. On the rebound, and over the top call for sure. Pushing off, that time was Herbert Clark. Picks up foul number 1. Clark just came in the ball game. He's 6'7", 175, a senior.
I think Clark needs to get into the game a little bit. Just entered off cold, you know, and wanted to make his contribution, and his presence felt right away, but didn't get position.
We felt his presence all right. Ed Horton from the side. Horton now with a great rebounding effort in the first half, as Frank mentioned to you, now starting to score. 8 points for Ed Horton, and Landfair has built this out to a 33-28 lead over Thornton by 5. Darren Guest in and out, won't go. Gamble with the board. Kevin Gamble for the Lions to Clarence Briggity, and the Springfield fans here at the Assembly Hall, who are numerous, are starting to get a little excited.
Yeah,
and you can't blame them.
I think what we're seeing is Thornton entering that same drought that they entered yesterday against Bennett at the same point in time in the ball game. During the third quarter.
Moose Nika with his 4th field goal, 35-28, and suddenly Lanphier has a 7-point lead. Biggest lead for Thornton was 6. Hawkins answers. His shot won't go. Rebound at the baseline. Deflected. They're going to stay off of Larry Hawkins and out of bounds. Basketball goes back to Lanphier, and the Lions are definitely on a roll right now. They lead 35-28.
Yeah, they're on that roll. Of course, at the same time, the Wildcats are suffering from the effects of a bit of a drought.
Yeah, 4-point period for Thornton. A couple of buckets, and they missed 2 free throws.
I believe we've got 11 unanswered points by the Lions.
That is correct. Down low, Thornton tried to turn on Darren Guest. Just couldn't handle the basketball, lost it.
He realizes that, too. I think the next possession down for Landfair will see a greater degree of patience. They realize they're getting in a hurry now. They're looking for the quick kill, and it's too soon for that.
Leslie Lee went over and patted him on the back and said, okay, settle down, young man. Here's Robinson. His shot won't go. Another great rebound by Gamble.
Gamble's not scoring, but, boy, he's doing a lot of other things out there.
He's a fine player.
And that's an example of one of the things he's doing.
All right, over the 10-second line, Leslie Lee to Nika. Here's Horton. Horton with the jumper. Swish.
A little more patience that time.
17-4 in this quarter, Landfair.
37-28. The Lions lead it by 9, and Sam Camelli is on his feet. Thornton has to take a timeout. Landfair with a 17-4 run has pulled in front here, 37-28 by 9, and one of your network sponsors is John Deere.
For years, people with big lawns have faced the same problem. What to do with the clippings? Now there's the John Deere system.
Fair with a 17-4 run in their favor, jumped into a 37-28 advantage. Sam Camelli called his second timeout for Thornton, and during the timeout period, very, very intently talking to his ball club. They have to do something to break the Landfair momentum right now.
Yeah, they certainly do, and I think the best way to do it is to put 2 on the board right now.
Tyrone Thigpen, Larry Hawkins out front directing traffic with him. Hawkins wearing number 14. Thigpen pulls it up, free throw line extended, can't get it. Darren Guest with the board, got it, and was fouled. Maybe a big play.
Could be a big play. Better than 2 is 3.
Foul is on Kevin Gamble. On Gamble, it's foul number 2. In the foul column for Landfair, Gamble has 2. Horton riding with 3. They're the only 2 in any jeopardy. Nobody in foul trouble for Thornton. In fact, amazingly enough, the Wildcats have committed only 4 fouls in the entire ball game. Darren Guest at the line, where he has missed 6 in a row, and he's 1 of 7 for the afternoon.
He's got to follow through with his shot.
He got that one. So Darren Guest nets it. And it is now a 37-31 Landfair lead, a lead of 6. Kevin Gamble intercepted by Guest. Thornton has it. Almost stolen, but almost out of bounds, but Thigpen retains possession. Tyrone on the drive. Got it. Beautiful move. And a blocking foul is called on Leslie Lee, his 3rd personal foul. Tyrone Thigpen exploded. Took the ball right to the glass. Finger roll layup to make it 37-33.
Okay, you see Tyrone Thigpen making the penetration move after the steal. He goes in hard. He's not given room to move. He's an airborne player. He had that space. It was his space at that point in time. And what we're looking at here, a potential 2 3-point plays in a row with merely seconds elapsing.
That's right. That is correct. Thigpen is at the line as a free throw shooter. He's 7-0-3 for the year, 57 of 81. Eyes it, tries it, got it.
6 quickies.
Boy, that cuts into a lead in a hurry, doesn't it? 37-34. Thornton of Harvey, after being outscored 17-4, has now outscored Landfair 6-zip and have closed back within 3 with 39 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter.
Notice what the 6 points did for their defense, too. I mean, offense and defense are bedfellows, friends.
Yeah. Suddenly those kids are interested, right? Very active. Gamble turnaround, big bucket. Kevin Gamble for Landfair.
He's coming into it now.
12 points for Gamble, 39-34, 5-point Lion lead. Big Pin back on the baseline. He got it!
Shot, unbelievable shot.
Big Pin almost fell to Danville on the way out of bounds and launched it up over the board and through, and we got a foul stopping play on Tyrone Big Pin.
There is no way he could have made that shot against the square bank board or the other one.
That's as close.
Was he in
this shot that we're going to look at? If we could slow it down a little bit, just an outstanding shot. That's as close to the Dwight Anderson Southern Cal shot as you'll ever find, and legal. The Dwight Anderson shot was illegal.
He was almost in the band.
39-36. Here is a Gamble from the side. Little Clarence Brigady at 5'7", scoops it up off the deck. He is stripped, and it goes to Nika. Moose guns it, got it!
Oh, I'll tell you what, this Final Four is not for the faint at heart. Thump, thump, thump.
Nika cages it at the horn after 3. Landfair 41. Thornton of Harvey 36. And one of your network sponsors, DeKalb Pfizer Genetics.
Farming is a tough way to make a living.
For the final period. Been a game with peaks and valleys, highs and lows for both ball clubs.
Super pass.
Lamont Robinson. Little soft jumper after a great assist.
There's your bread and butter combination. They went to work.
41-38. Landfair's lead reduced to 3 points. We just get underway in the final period. Leslie Lee across to Moose Nika. The junior backliner, and Thigpen is called for the blocking foul, number 2 on Tyrone Thigpen. Third period, when you boil it all down, Lanphier outscored Thornton 21-12, and that solidified their lead going to the final chapter. But of course, the first bucket of the fourth quarter was Lamont Robinson's for Thornton, so we're back to a 3-point ball game. Inbounded to Clarence Brigady. Brigady looking eyeball to eyeball out there with the defender Larry Hawkins. Hawkins goes on the floor. Brigady clears the pass to Gamble. Gamble listens to the right of the free throw circle to Nika. He got it.
The defense is starting to scramble a bit, and as a consequence, that kind of opening developed, which they don't want. Not for Mr. Moose.
12 points for Moose Nika, all from the twilight zone. 43-38. Big Pin. Jumper no good. Brigady swats the rebound. Picked up off the floor by Herbert Clark. Right back out to Tyrone Thigpen for the Thornton Wildcats. Lamont Robinson loads a Darren Guest, and he scored.
Automatic.
Gets the ball in there, in the paint, within 3 or 4 feet. Forget it. 43-40, Landfair. Here's Clarence Brigady to Moose Nika. Partially deflected on the baseline, followed by Gamble deflected.
Great rebound by Clark.
Right, great play by Clark. And down the floor quickly, we got a foul called on Leslie Lee as Lamont Robinson took it right to it. That's 4 on Leslie Lee at Landfair.
I think what we're seeing here is Lamont Robinson beginning to take over a bit. Of course, he did that one solo, and through the charge, what they need to do is get points one way or another, via the free throw line or other means.
Lee had the right idea to pick up the charge. He just didn't have time because Robinson was so quick. He got there so quickly, and Lee was still moving.
Going to see the third period statistics through 3. Thornton still shooting 42%, 15 of 36. Landfair 19 of 43, 44%. 6 of 12 at the line for Thornton, and Robinson just rattled that one in. No, he's going to disallow it.
Basket interference.
Basket interference while the ball was in the cylinder. Disallowed, and that's taking away 2 points, and it could turn out to be a 4-point turn at this point.
Score remains at 43-40, and Sam Camelli, to say he's unhappy would be an understatement, I think. Of course, it cost his ball club a point when they're trying to make a comeback run, and nevertheless, the official saw the interference, and of course he has to call it. Here is Gamble. Gamble off to Brigady. Brigady right side. Bounce pass off to Leslie Lee. Lee out between the circles. Lee on the penetration. Baseline right. There's the jumper by Horton. No good. Gamble floors it. Can't get it. Follows and got it.
Gamble hangs in there. It just hangs in there.
12 points for Kevin Gamble. No more than that. 14 for Gamble. Return jumper by Clark. Just goes for the board, and Brigady got him on the wrist.
Very alert call by the official on that one. Many hands involved.
Well-worked ball game. Of course, there's disagreement on calls, but these officials are doing a very, very fine job and a very physical game. Perhaps the most physical game of the tournament.
Difficult to work.
Country Companies Insurance and the nearly 1,000 Country Companies agents in Illinois are happy to be co-sponsoring these basketball telecasts. We hope you're enjoying our presentation. We'll see you again tonight starting at 6:15, consolation, and then the championship, and then the girls' championships next week.
Darren Guest 1-1. with 6:10 to go. 45-40 Lanphier. Got it. He's concentrating at the line now. Guest with, let's see, 8, 10, 13 points for Guest. Jeffrey Thurman back in.
I think the difference there that we've seen in Guest in the last 2 free throws has been the follow-through. I think it's important to look from the wrist up.
45-41. Landfair by 4. Guest with one more attempt. Big guy got her airborne, scraped the outer iron, did not go, and the rebound flat-footed Ed Horton. Horton to Kevin Gamble to Clarence Briggity. Briggity brings it down, and a timeout taken by the Landfair Lions. First timeout used by Bob Nika this afternoon. 6:01 to go. You see it on the scoreboard with Landfair up 4 and one of your network sponsors, Country Companies Insurance.
Join us at high school basketball, box 678, Bloomington, Illinois, 61701. Box 678, Bloomington, Illinois, 61701.
Frank Brad Johansson, our statistician, just informed me of a couple of eye-popping stats. Kevin Gamble has 14 boards for Landfair. Ed Horton has 12. And Darren Guest has 8 for Thornton, so the rebounding is going to be a telling factor. I think that may decide it.
Those are some real statistics on the glass.
They really are.
With 6 minutes left to go, too. All right, here's Landfair with the basketball, trying to protect a 4-point lead. Leslie Lee. Lee has little Clarence Briggity in the corner. He's going to take the jumper. Aired it. Flat-footed rebound to Jeffrey Thurman. And now Thornton brings the ball across. They're down 4 with 5:40 to play. Tyrone Thigpen, 6'5", 190 a senior, out on the floor. To Larry Hawkins, back to Thigpen. 3 teams still in the running for the state championship. Thigpen shot spins out and spins back in again. Tyrone Thigpen with the 13-point ball game, a 7-point second half. 2-pointer. Landfair 45, Thornton of Harvey 43. Lamont Robinson digs in on Leslie Lee. Lee number 22, Robinson number 20. Switching off is Thurman. Thurman number 40 for Thornton. Picks up number 40, Kevin Gamble, of course, for Landfair. Briggity tries to go all the way to the baseline, and Larry Hawkins can't get quite that deep. Here's the hook pass. Back out to Kevin Gamble. Gamble straight away. It won't go. On the rebound, Guest was there. Horton was there. Darren Guest is over the back and picks up foul number 2.
Okay, we'll see the shot going up, but we'll see also on the rebound effort that Guest is going over the top. He really didn't quite have position, although he was close to it, but the body brush cost him.
That's the rematch, Ron, for that physical battle that young Ed Horton won early in the ball game.
Yeah, that's right. This one was a standoff, wasn't it?
Now, Guest did most of the pushing. Horton is at the line. 10-point total. Got it.
You know, increasingly, I see in Horton, from the outset of yesterday's game, a little jitteriness, but he's playing like a senior today.
I was going to say his poise is great down the stretch in this one. This nailed home 2 clutch free throws. Landfair increases his lead to 4 once again. 47-43. 4:53 left to go in the basketball game. The winner meets Peoria Central for the state title, and there's a big, big bucket by Larry Hawkins, and he was fouled by Briggity. Hawkins on the perimeter, and then Briggity just brushed him with a hand. It was an excellent call by the official.
What we're looking at, though, we can see in the replay, we can see Nika push down low, fronting Guest, and of course what it's doing is opening up the top side of that zone for that kind of a shot, which admittedly was a toughie.
Briggity got there a little late. He wanted to flash out on Hawkins and made contact. So Larry Hawkins, who has 6 points, can now pull his club within a point if he makes the free throw. He doesn't. Still a 2-point ball game, and on the rebound, Thurman called for pushing off, his first foul. Actually, Thornton of Harvey played the entire first half with only 2 personals. They've been tied for 6 here in the second half.
And we've seen defensive change in the parts of both clubs. The last time down, we saw Thornton in a man-to-man, surprisingly. And on the other side, we saw, of course, as I alluded to, the defensive adjustment that Landfair has made.
There you get a good look at Kevin Gamble, the 6'7", 185-pound senior. 14 points in the game as free throw.
Horton again.
Horton with the board. He can't get it down, and Jeffrey Thurman with the rebound for the Wildcats. Thurman works off to Lamont Robinson. 4:37 to go. 47-45. Landfair by a pair. Lamont Robinson trying to tie it. Rattles, no good. Guest with the board. Goes up. Was fouled by Nika. Might have been a good foul in that case for Moose Nika, because he's going to put a 47% free throw shooter at the line. And the big guy would have stuffed that one home had the foul not been committed.
Good foul.
There's Bob Nika. I think you probably used those words yourself a little bit, haven't you, Ron Nikovich? Keep inside position.
My hair is not quite as light as Bob Nika's hair.
Bob, an excellent coach, coached his ball club to the Capital Conference Championship. And now the basketball apparently a little bit wet. Darren Guest wants the official, the ball boy over there, to do a little toweling off of the basketball. Ball boy there is Jim Flynn's son, by the way, Assistant Executive Secretary of the Illinois High School Association.
Well, he handles it better than Jim does.
Yeah. Guest airball for free throw. Okay, he'll have one more throw as this arena erupts. Good crowd this afternoon.
Well, we've got everybody applauding.
Darren Guest says, give me the ball back. I'm ready to fire again. 47-45, Landfair. Second one, no good. Tip almost batted in there by Kevin Gamble of Lanphier, but he came out with the basketball. The Lions have it with a 2-point lead. If they win, it'll be a rematch of 1977 for the state title.
Not the kind of shot I'm sure that Coach Nika wanted in a situation like that.
Yeah, Horton aired at the sophomore from the baseline right, and Bob Nika yelling words of instruction. Sam Cannelli seated on the Thornton bench at the moment. Hawkins to Thigpen. Tyrone Thigpen pulls it up. Won't go. Rebound right back to Thigpen for 8-footer. Well, you don't give him two cracks at it. 15 points for Tyrone Thigpen. We're tied at 47. Ball kicked around loose. Picked up by Leslie Lee. Kevin Gamble. And Nika baseline left. Art Kimball, Frank Bassoni, and Ron Nikovich with you from the Assembly Hall. Lower bracket semifinal battle deadlocked at 47-47 with 3:34 to go. Nika holding the basketball to Clarence Brigady. Brigady trying to penetrate. They swing it around now, top of the circle is Larry Hawkins, number 14 for the Wildcats of Thornton, digs in on Brigady. Off to Lee to Nika. Nika wearing number 30. Brigady to Kevin Gamble. Big pin on Gamble. Gamble whirl, shot was deflected, gets it back, hooks it up and in.
And what Landfair needs to do is to get into their offense. They need a bit of a flow here. They look a bit tentative.
Big play by Kevin Gamble as this great individual effort on the inside for the field goal. And it's 49-47. Landfair by 2. Hawkins down. Scoreboard clock shows 2:57 to go. Hawkins looking right corner, gets the ball to Lamont Robinson. Landfair packing that zone in. Really putting the pressure on Guest. Here is Robinson, and they're going to say Robinson was checked off by Ed Horton. On Horton, it's foul number 4. Said he got him with the leg, and Lamont Robinson will be at the line in a 1-on-1 situation. Officials, Matt Lawrence from Aurora and Harry Bone from Clarendon Hills working this one. Like every game, now I won't say every game, but the vast majority of games in this tournament have been very, very tight. Lamont Robinson at the free throw line. He is 3 out of 5 on the afternoon for Thornton. First one he got.
He got a tough one.
Got to get that lead in, of course, and it's 49-48, so he can tie the issue if he makes this one. 2:47. A lot of basketball to be played in this one. Deep breath, second throw, outer iron, rebound, Guest goes back, he's stripped of the ball, jump ball situation. Robinson finally came out of traffic with it. Great defense on Darren Guest in the inside, saved a go-ahead field goal. Now, sure got a hand on him in there.
Notice how Lanphier will converge on Guest every time he gets the ball. They go after it right away because they know he brings it down too low.
Yeah, they really pitch a tent around him, at least 2 players, sometimes 3. Robinson jumping against Horton. Horton at 6'8", wins the tip. Tipped it over in the right corner of the defensive zone. Leslie Lee was there. They've obviously worked on that maneuver before. Here's Clarence Brigady. Landfair leading by a point. And Bob Nika wants a timeout period. The Landfair Lions are going to use their second timeout right here. 2:33 to play. Landfair by 1 at 49-48. One of your network sponsors is John Deere.
Good afternoon, sports fans, and welcome to the 4th weekly mowing of Dave Epley's lawn. Tension mounts as Dave boards the incredible John Deere 318. Down the drive he goes, the extra wide mower cutting time in the straights. Into the first turn, he flies, feeling the power of all 18 horses. Then the 318 with power.
Bob Nika called the timeout, sends his troops out on the floor.
Wonder why no one's leaving.
I've got a question. We're going to find out if we can top our semifinal twosome tonight. And be watching and find out. We'll start at 6:15 with the third place, and then the championship game. The 4 great teams, and it'll be 2 special games again tonight.
Yeah, they'll both be interesting. Really will be. Inbound into Briggity. All right, Lanphier with a 1-point lead. Briggity had it, lost it, scramble. A foul on Jeffrey Thurman. His second on Thornton.
I think what we're going to see at this stage of the game then is the ball's going to be in the hands of Mr. Briggity a lot of the time. He's close to the floor. He's quick, and he can handle it.
And he's a veteran playmaker. Briggity will be at the line for the Lions. 1-on-1 situation. He scored 2 buckets this afternoon. First free throw attempts. Landfair leads at 49-48. 2 minutes, 29 seconds left to go. Free throw, Clarence Briggity. No good. Rebound, Darren Guest. Guest with the big rebound. Now Thornton with a chance to go ahead. Tyrone Thigpen calls Larry Hawkins back out on the floor. Back to Thigpen to Hawkins. Lamont Robinson to Larry Hawkins. I don't even recall Hawkins playing last night. Jumper by Thigpen. Spins out. No good. On the rebound. Deflected out of bounds. Off the hand of Kevin Gamble.
Looked like a little indecision that time on Thigpen's shot, whether to pass or to shoot. I think he saw somebody momentarily under.
2:08 left to go. 49-48. Landfair by 1. The Wildcats have it. Lamont Robinson lean-in jump shot. And the lead goes back to Thornton of Harvey for the first time in quite a while. Thornton's Wildcats 50. The Landfair Lions 49 with 1 minute and 55 left. Here is Leslie Lee. Lee across, being crowded at the near sideline, picked off by Lamont Robinson. Landfair now has to look for a go-ahead hoop. Clarence Briggity. Lee swings out. They look low to Horton. 50-49. Thornton with 1:39 left. Briggity on the baseline. The shot isn't there. He comes back out to Moose Nika, number 30. Jeffrey Thurman hounds Nika. To Briggity, almost, well, in fact, in the center circle in the attacking zone. Clarence Briggity. There's Larry Hawkins looking at him. We're down to 1 minute and 23. Here is Moose Nika. Nika looking low to Kevin Gamble. Good defense against Gamble inside that Wildcat defense, which has now become a man-to-man. They're out of the zone. They're playing straight up man-to-man at this point. Here's Briggity to Nika. Nika holding, looking low to Gamble. Gamble has it, goes to the hoop against Guest, and the foul is going to be called on Darren Guest. He drew it beautifully. Number 3 on Darren Guest, the big guy collision on the inside.
How many on 30?
And Gamble is an 81% foul shooter.
But has missed his only one today, Frank. He'll be shooting 2.
But he'll be a factor from this point on.
16 points for Gamble. 50-49 Thornton. Gamble can tie it and give Landfair the lead if he gets them both. High ball game. 50-50. 1 minute and 7 seconds left. One more throw to Kevin Gamble. Good look at Kevin. His second throw, outer iron. We're tied at 50 apiece. Rebound loose in the corner. Leslie Lee had it, but he was fouled by Tyrone Thigpen. And Leslie Lee will go to the line as Thigpen picks up foul number 3. It's going to be a 1-on-1 situation. They're going to put Leslie Lee at the free throw line, and Lee has made 1 out of 2. That foul occurred in a scramble for a loose ball in the left-hand corner as we view it. Lower left-hand corner of your screen of the attacking zone for Landfair, and at the line, Leslie Lee.
Lee's doing a good thing. He's staying off the line after that chit-chat with his coach and not enabled him to regain his concentration.
50 apiece, 51-50. Landfair inches back on top.
Off the line again, of course, and he's doing the correct thing.
He's a blue-chip player.
He really is, you know, and it's going to be between, you know, if it gets right down to the game winner, it's either going to be Lee to Gamble or it's going to be Lamont Robinson to Thigpen.
Second throw is good, and Landfair leads it by 2. We're under 1 minute and 58 seconds.
The bread and butter players will do it.
52-50. Landfair leading Thornton. 50 seconds left to go. The Wildcats ball handling. Lamont Robinson to Thigpen. Thigpen pulls it up. No good. Darren Guest with the board. Foul on Moose Nika, sagging back in. Number 2 on Nika. 42 seconds remaining. Going to be Guest at the free throw line, and of course, the percentages say if you're going to foul anybody, foul Darren Guest because he's had difficulty up there. He's 1 out of 4 at the line in the fourth quarter. He's made 3 out of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 3 of 11 is what I have him for at the line. And now on top of that, they're going to ice him a little bit. as Bob Nika takes a timeout period. Country Companies Insurance is presenting IHSA basketball for the 12th consecutive year, and your local Country Companies agent hopes you're enjoying our telecast. Well, what a great session this afternoon. The first game, Peoria Central 58, Chicago Marshall 57, on a baseline jumper at the buzzer by Tim Williams. Here we have 42 seconds left. Lanphier 52, Thornton of Harvey 50, but at the line will be center Darren Guest of Thornton in a 1-on-1 situation. Tonight, we'll be back with you at 6:15 with the third place and battle for the state championship. Next week for the girls championship ball game. Been a great afternoon, great session, gentlemen.
I think the timeout that we just saw called by Landfair is going to create a kill two birds with one stone kind of a situation. It's going to, of course, work a bit on the mind of the free throw shooter. At the same time, they're collecting their defense and offensive thoughts with respect to the final 42 seconds of the ball game.
I know, Frank Massoni, you've covered many a great session in the Assembly Hall, but I can't think we thought last week couldn't be topped. Certainly this is on a par with any great singular afternoons, isn't it?
Spine tinglers, 2 of them in a row. 4 great teams, great basketball. It wasn't sloppy. There was discipline. There was talent on the floor, character displayed, coaching displayed. It's everything you want in high school basketball. The state should be very proud of these young men and their coaches and the communities. It's something special. I've got to think right now that 3 for 11 is really on the mind of this 16-year-old Darren Guest. And he knows that he could make 2 free throws and tie the game, but there's got to be a lot of pressure. He's 3 for 11 at the line in this game.
All he has to do is follow through.
52-50 Landfair. Guest at the line. Goes off the right side out to Nika. Here's Landfair with it. Lee loses the ball. Leslie Lee came down. The ball rolled free, far sideline. Les tried to find the handle, couldn't do it. So we're down to 37 seconds. Thornton has it back with a chance to tie once again. Landfair leading at 52-50. Lamont Robinson into Tyrone Thigpen. Deliberately. Top of the circle. Down to 27 seconds. You can see the clock. Ball is knocked away. Loose basketball. Picked up by Thigpen. Thigpen is rocked back into the defensive zone. And the ball is going to go to Thornton. There was all kinds of contact. Finally, Gamble stepped out of bounds. He brought the ball over the 10-second line. And Thornton of Harvey will have it. With 19 seconds left to go, Thigpen got rocked back in the defensive zone, but there was plenty of contact prior to that.
And the Landfair defense has adjusted itself once again to outside coverage. You see Nika going to the top.
Here's a jumper by Hawkins and a foul. It caromed off the side of the board. The foul is on Kevin Gamble. Foul number 3 on Kevin. So now our situation, let's review it. It's changed dramatically. 9 seconds left to go.
I don't know exactly what the timeout situation is, but I think we can be guaranteed of a timeout from Lanphier.
Well, Lanphier has 2. Lanphier has 2 left and 3 left for Sam Camelli.
There goes one of them.
And Lanphier is going to take timeout number 4 right now. So with 9 seconds left, Lanphier leads it by 2 at 52-50 in the Class AA tournament, co-sponsored again this year by DeKalb Pfizer Genetics. The more than 1,100 DeKalb Pfizer Genetics dealers here in Illinois invite you to join us next week for the Girls Championship. We'll be with you tonight at 6:15, but as great as the evening session is, we're going to have to hustle some to top the afternoon session. What a great ball game we have here. The one preceding this, the Peoria Central 1-point win over Chicago Marshall. A dramatic victory for the Lions, a heartbreaking loss for the Commandos with the super basketball. And our situation again, 9 seconds remaining, 9 ticks of that clock. 52-50 ball game.
And it's Larry Hawkins at the foul line. 63% on the season from the 15-foot marker.
He has missed his only free throw attempt here this afternoon. You really wonder how many chances indeed do you get in a basketball game. Now, this is the 3rd opportunity, if memory serves me correctly, Thornton has had to tie it at the line.
And I'll say this, that in this kind of a situation with this amount of pressure bearing down on this young fella, that what happens in the event he misses the shot with respect to offensive rebounding in particular is going to be the key. I think that the Wildcats are alert to that, and I think also that the Landfair Lions are alert to the fact that they need to control the lane.
All right, here's Hawkins. A 2-shot foul. He was foul in the act of shooting. Got it. 52 to 51. Lanphier's lead has been narrowed to a digit. Larry Hawkins can tie it right here. 9 seconds remaining in regulation.
Thornton will press if he makes it.
One more throw for Hawkins. Deep breath. Larry's charity toss is good. Tie ball game at 52-52. And immediately Bob Nika. I think Thornton took the timeout. Thornton did take the timeout. I thought Nika might take one there. Didn't have to. Sam Camelli needed one as well. We have 9 seconds to play. You see the scoreboard? It's all right there for you. 9 seconds to go. Deadlocked at 52. And John Deere and your local John Deere dealers are happy to have you with us for the Class AA tournament. Be sure to join us tonight at 6:15 for the consolation battle, the third place game, and the matchup for the 1983 Illinois State High School AA Boys Basketball Championship. 9 seconds left. What's going on in the huddles, Ron?
Well, I think what Thornton has to do is to determine what kind of defense they're going to utilize at this point in time. Are they going to, for example, get into a three-quarter court press, in which case would spread open their defense and open up the court? Or are they going to drop back and pack it in and take their chances on an outside shot? In any event, of course, what they don't want is the foul on the outside.
9 seconds to go. I would imagine Landfair would like to run a play so they get a shot around 4 or 3 so that they have a chance for an offensive tip or 2, but Thornton doesn't have a chance to come the other way.
Right.
Well, the stage is set for another one of those fantastic finishes. 52-52 ball game. Thornton bench really excited about something.
Well,
they're up in front of us.
Coming out into the full court, of course, it looks like on a man-to-man basis as well.
They put Herbert Clark in there at 6'7". They want him on the ball. All right, inbounded to Briggity. Down to 8 seconds. Remember, we're tied. Up quickly, right corner to Horton. Horton launches the jumper. No good. Rebound. Gamble is good.
Well, there's Mr. Gamble.
Kevin Gamble knocked in the rebound effort. And the ball game is all over. He got it home prior to the buzzer. There's the coaches. Camelli out in front and Bob Nika. Well, I didn't think we could have a finish like we had in the first game. We had one almost identical.
Well, we talked about the double thumper, and we got it. And the fans are up off their feet once again. Now, I hope Mr. Gamble recovers. He's got to play ball game tonight.
The emotion on the floor as the Landfair fans mobbing Kevin Gamble. There's Bob Nika in the middle of it. Kevin Gamble getting a joyride back to the locker room.
Let's take another look at the final 7.
The shot, of course, the initial shot was taken by Horton. Probably not the one that they really wanted, but he had it taken. Of course, Gamble, we see, immediately goes inside. He's Mr. Opportunity. He grabs it and just stuffs it home, and he did what had to be done, and we see 1 second to go.
And that's the old ball game. So tonight for the state championship, Peoria Central against Springfield Lanphier, a repeat of the 1977 title game. For third place, it'll be Chicago Marshall against Thornton of Harvey. Our scores this afternoon. Central 58 to 57 in their victory over Chicago Marshall, and Lanphier 54-52 over Thornton. Briefly, the scoring leader, Kevin Gamble, wound up with 19 to pace the effort for Springfield Lanphier, and we had a 15-point total for Tyrone Thigpen, and Gamble also had 17 rebounds this afternoon. That's the story from the Assembly Hall. This is Art Kimball for myself and Frank Fasoni, and also for Ron Nikovich. We'll see you tonight at 6:15 with the third place and title game from Champaign.
bags, so cleanup's neat and easy. It could be the best way ever to take care of your clippings. We think everyone should have one. The Twin Bagger, available for John Deere lawn tractors and riding mowers.
Charles Bronson is a cop looking for a killer, and he's running out of time.
I'm a mean, selfish son of a... But I want a killer, and what I want comes first. We found some blood.
5, shooting 46%. Big difference at the line. Thornton 10 of 12, while Marshall's had only 5 attempts and made 2 of them. Rebounding 24-23 Thornton, turnovers 10 apiece. The way she looks is we're into the 4th and final period. We play 1 minute of the final quarter. Thornton of Harvey with a 10-point lead, packing that zone back in a little bit and kicking the ball violation on Jeffrey Thurman. Little 2-3 from Thornton at this point, Ron?
No, I think it's a variation again of the 1-3-1. Now, if we see Darren Guest step up a bit, we'll see that it'll formulate into a 1-3-1. But because he packs it in deep as he is, number 33 is ready to play in the baseline.
Got by Kevin Rice, and on the rebound, a foul on Tyrone Thigpen, his 4th. Now, Tyrone has scored 17 points in the ball game. He's called for pushing off as he went for the basketball. Luther Bedford, you see him in the picture right now as his assistant coach. Luther really went after his ball club in the timeout. He wants that 3rd place trophy. Here's Stephen, blocked on the inside by Guest. And here's Lamont Robinson flying out of there, goes down, he's going to be called for traveling.
Got a little bit out of control that time.
Luther Bedford's assistant, Al Williams, is also the athletic director at Chicago Marshall.
And Jerome Thigpen comes in for Tyrone Thigpen. Jerome started the ball game tonight, popped in 6 points in the first half, and as we told you, Tyrone is riding with 4 personal fouls, and Thornton is up by 10, so Sam Camelli making that lineup change. Stiffen underneath. Joe can't get it down. Kevin Rice with the board. He scores. Kevin Rice found himself a little shooting room as he faded away, and Darren Guest caught an elbow. And we have a timeout for the injury as a little flurry underneath. Darren seems to be all right. Sam Camelli up checking with the official, Ed Schmidt. Also with Kirby Ham. We're going to resume play. 54-46. Thornton leads it